This evening, tragedy strikes as preteen dies in road accident. A young student tragically lost his life after being struck by a lorry in Berbice. Wildfires ravage Ghana's Rupununi region. Efforts intensify to contain the widespread blazes, causing significant damage across numerous communities. Smoke from neighboring Suriname adds to concerns. Ghana makes medical history as GPHC becomes certified kidney transplant center. The Georgetown Public Hospital achieves a landmark achievement, positioning itself for vital organ transplant services. Major drug bust in Berbice River. Police discovers and destroys the two large cannabis farms with a combined street value exceeding $150 million. Haiti's crisis deepens. Famine threatens over 1 million people as political turmoil and gang violence intensifies. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for March 14, 2024. I'm Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, a devastating accident on the Reliance Access Road in East Kanji Berbice has claimed the life of a 12-year-old student from New Amsterdam Secondary School. Justin Titaram lost his life in the incident, which occurred around 1600 hours on Wednesday, March 13th. The accident involved a motor lorry owned by a local businessman and driven by a 64-year-old Canefield Settlement East Country resident. According to initial investigations, the lorry was traveling south along the eastern drive lane while Justin was walking in the same direction alongside the road. The lorry driver alleged that as he was making a left turn east onto the sideline dam, East Kanji, he heard someone shouting, "Hold boy, hold," prompting him to stop the vehicle. Tragically, the 12-year-old boy was found lying under the lorry near the left side back wheel. Despite efforts by bystanders and police, the child was pronounced dead on arrival at the New Amsterdam Public Hospital. The driver is currently in custody as investigations continue. The young boy's body awaits a post-mortem examination at the hospital's mortuary. In other news, the Civil Defense Commission, in partnership with the Ghana Fire Service, Environmental Protection Agency, Protected Areas Commission, and the regional authorities, are intensifying efforts to suppress wildfires, wreaking havoc across sections of Region 9. This environmental crisis has been exacerbated by a prolonged dry spell sweeping the nation, prompting swift action from government agencies. Although numerous communities in the Rupununi area have sustained significant structural damage, there have been no reported casualties. Most recently, Kumu and Mokomoka in Region 9 have been severely impacted. A collaborative task force effort was able to bring the blaze under control. Nevertheless, wildfires continue to ravage the Kunuku Mountains, Letem, and surrounding areas. Affected villages span across central Rupununi, south central, and south Pacaraimans, and the north, prompting urgent intervention. In neighboring Region 6, reports of smoke from Suriname's wildfires have prompted heightened vigilance among residents, leading to adjustments in school schedules. Amidst escalating concerns, the government has reaffirmed its commitment to managing and ultimately extinguishing the wildfire threats through coordinated efforts across various agencies. Individuals impacted by fire or smoke during the dry season are urged to seek assistance promptly. Emergency contact numbers including 912, local fire station, police, village leaders, regional Democratic Council of offices, and the National Emergency Monitoring System at 600-7500 remains accessible 24 hours a day for immediate support and guidance. On a different note, the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation has achieved official certification as a kidney transplant center, making a significant milestone in Ghana's medical landscape. It became the first institution in the country to receive this recognition, conferred jointly by the Ministry of Health and the Human Organ and Tissue Transplant Agency. Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony presented the certification during a ceremony, stressing its importance in aligning with international standards. Establishing the Human Organ and Tissue Transplant Agency, facilitated by the Human Organ and Tissue Transplant Act 2022, has paved the way for advancements in transplant practices. Dr. Anthony commended GPHC's team and highlighted collaborations with organizations like PAHU. He outlined further steps including medical capacity building for matching tests and establishing partnerships for training and expertise exchange. The legislation also requires the development of a biobank with plans already underway. Dr. Shanti Singh, chair of the Human Organ and Tissue Transplant Agency, reiterated the agency's commitment to ensuring accessibility and ethical transplantation services, emphasizing progress in regulation drafting, capacity building, and staff training. Stick around when we return. Police conduct successful narcotics eradication exercise in Burgess River, and teenage motorcyclist hospitalized after attempting to flee from the police.
Are you looking for an exciting Easter? Look no further than Digicel stores for incredible savings and a free Easter surprise. This Easter, Digicel is offering an extravagant deal. Purchase the Samsung A05 for just $21,000 or the Samsung A24 for only $39,500 and receive a free kite with your purchase. Make this Easter a memorable one. Visit a Digicel store today and crack open these amazing deals. Digicel, the network for everyone, everywhere.
Good girl, forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road, Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Speak clearly with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Common smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Mill Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Welcome back. Two teenage motorcyclists are currently hospitalized after a serious incident on the Enterprise Access Road, East Coast Demerara. The incident, which occurred around 1925 hours on Tuesday, involved a 70-year-old and a 19-year-old from Nonpareil, East Coast Demerara. Reports said that police officers on patrol observed the teens riding without lights and pursued them onto the road under construction. Meanwhile, the police ranks had lost sight of both motorcyclists and subsequently, while proceeding in the direction the motorcyclists had sped off to, they heard a call for help and responded. One of the motorcyclists collided with a pile of crushed stones, causing both to fall and sustain injuries. The police responded to calls for help and summoned an ambulance to transport the injured teens to the Georgetown Public Hospital, where they remain under examination. Investigations into the incident are ongoing. Moving on, police in Regional Division 10 have conducted another successful narcotics eradication exercise, this time at Ibinibat Dam, Berbice River. The operation, which took place on Wednesday, March 13, resulted in the discovery and destruction of 2 cannabis farms spanning a total of 7 acres. Authorities found and destroyed a quantity of marijuana with a street value of over 150 million Ghana dollars. The first farm, approximately 5 acres in size, contained about 23,000 plants. Additionally, ranks discovered a makeshift camp with kitchen utensils and groceries, along with a large amount of dried cannabis. Another makeshift camp with dried cannabis was also found. Both farms were destroyed by fire. However, no arrests were made during the multi-million-dollar operation. Don't go away after the break. TikTok legislation. U.S. bill demands Chinese-owned TikTok be sold. And Nigeria abduction. Gunmen kidnap 61 people from Buddha village.
Are you looking for an exciting Easter? Look no further than Digicel stores for incredible savings and a free Easter surprise. This Easter, Digicel is offering an extravagant deal. Purchase the Samsung A05 for just $21,000 or the Samsung A24 for only $39,500 and receive a free kite with your purchase. Make this Easter a memorable one. Visit a Digicel store today and crack open these amazing deals. Digicel, the network for everyone, everywhere.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lenders, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Common smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Middle Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. Haiti's political crisis and gang control exacerbate famine, putting over 1 million at risk with child malnutrition akin to war zones. The dire situation in Haiti is a result of a combination of factors, including political instability, economic collapse, and gang violence. Al Jazeera's John Holman reports.
While Haiti's political crisis plays out, more than 1 million people are now on the brink of famine. That's coming from the World Food Programme, which is struggling to feed them. It's a losing battle because the country, and especially the capital, are cut off from outside supplies.
Port-au-Prince is essentially in a bubble. The roads in and out of Port-au-Prince have been controlled by armed groups for a long time. These past few days, the ports have been closed and there have been no incoming flights. And we're seeing food prices rise. We're seeing scarcity of some food items.
Gangs are in control of vast swathes of the capital. It's them choking off the entryways. They've been doing it for years, but it's escalated in recent weeks as they've clamoured for Prime Minister Ariel Henry to quit. Now he says he'll go as soon as an interim Prime Minister is named. But as that political crisis plays out, people are struggling to provide for their families. Ducher Reginald lives in Sansville, one of the poorer parts of the capital. They've been especially affected by food shortages.
The problem of hunger is very difficult for me and for all Haitians. I live with 5 children as well as my mother, all of whom I take care of and feed every day. It's no small matter. This is the worst experience in life. We live in a country where people's rights are not respected.
Haitian children especially are at risk. Even before the recent escalation in violence, 1 in 4 suffer from chronic malnutrition. And the World Food Programme says it's now running through its reserves. Once those give out, things could get worse.
The children in Port-au-Prince, the most vulnerable part of the population, are at greatest risk. In the commune of Croix-des-Bouquets in Port-au-Prince, you've got malnutrition rates that are as high as they are in war zones.
The hope of some is that once a transition government's established, the country can reopen and supplies can get where they need to be. But that appears to depend as much on the gangs as the politicians. A powerful, unpredictable force in the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. John Holman, Al Jazeera, the Dominican Republic.
The U.S. House of Representatives has approved a bill that would force TikTok's Chinese owners to sell the app. It calls for the parent company, ByteDance, to offload its shares within 6 months. Supporters say Chinese owners pose a national security risk, but TikTok denies ties with the government in Beijing. Al Jazeera's Alan Fisher has the latest.
The bill is passed, and without the objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
The moment the US House of Representatives took a step towards banning TikTok, the Chinese owners of the social media app, used by around 170 million Americans, would have 6 months to sell its US operation or face a nationwide ban. Critics argue the company works too closely with the Chinese Communist Party and could seize US user data and even push a political agenda.
You wouldn't allow a radio tower owned by the Chinese to be put up right in the middle of Washington, D.C., and then allow it to just put out Chinese propaganda. You'd probably complain about that. That's exactly what TikTok can be used for.
Tell Congress to not ban TikTok.
TikTok saw the possible ban coming, and US content creators mobilized to object. Some lawmakers think the bill doesn't address key issues.
You're going to tell Americans they can't put a piece of software on their computer. They can't go to certain websites that the president designates.
President Joe Biden says it could be a national security risk.
If they pass it, I'll sign it.
The Chinese government, before the motion passed, criticized the idea of a sell-off or a ban.
Although the U.S. has not found any evidence of TikTok threatening national security, it has never stopped going after TikTok.
Steps to ban any social media platform could face court challenges over the issue of freedom of speech. But before that, this would have to pass the Senate, and there are no plans even to give it a hearing, never mind a vote. One First Amendment expert says the idea of government going after social media should chill everyone.
I think it's a terrible bill. I think that it runs roughshod over the First Amendment, and that it is a kind of gift to authoritarians all over the world who will use this as a pretext to crack down on their own citizens' access to information and ideas and media from abroad.
When President Donald Trump issued an executive order banning TikTok, but rescinded it when the courts ruled it had not been established it was a clear and present national security threat, which makes it hard to see the app disappearing from American phones anytime soon. Alan Fisher, Al Jazeera, Capitol Hill.
Gunmen have attacked another village in Nigeria's Kaduna state, seizing 61 people, mostly women and children. It's the third attack in a week, and more than 300 people are now missing. Al Jazeera's Ahmad Idris reports.
People in rural communities in Nigeria's Kaduna state are scared. Days after the kidnap of more than 280 school children in Kuriga, what they call bandits have struck again in Buddha village. Dozens of people were taken. Jamila Nuhu narrowly escaped.
They ordered me out of the house to carry their loot. It was heavy. I also had my baby on my back. When soldiers arrived, the bandits panicked. I seized the opportunity, dropped the load, and ran.
A few others also got free.
They drove us out like cattle to the outskirts of the village when the military arrived. We ran into an orchard. That's how some of us escaped, but my wife and stepmother did not.
They're being held by bandits along with 58 others. People here say if the soldiers had not arrived, everyone in the village could have been abducted. Villagers say dozens of attackers arrived just before midnight and went from house to house, seizing men, women, and children. This is the third attack in Kaduna State within 1 week and follows the kidnap of 287 school children. The number of abductions in Nigeria's north has increased. At least 600 people have been kidnapped in the region this month. An overstretched security service is struggling to contain the lawlessness sweeping across many Nigerian states. The government is keen to reassure people.
There will be no place to hide for the corporate. We're going to bring the government are doing everything possible to make sure they calm the situation now.
But villagers say gunmen roam freely in many parts of northern Nigeria, imposing what they call taxes and their own laws on helpless villagers. And it seems there is little to stop them. Ahmed Idris, Al Jazeera, Buda, Nigeria.
This brings us to the end of the regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-day weather forecast. And that's it, TV2 Headline News for this Thursday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. for a rebroadcast and at 5:30 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.